Sneak into the Dragon Keep and steal the best artifacts.
Burgle your way to victory. One false step, Clank.
All right, welcome back to the Board Game Closet. My name's Jimmy.
I'm Rod.
If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, click the button and subscribe, and we'll give you brand new video reviews about board games. And we'll give you a simple one-die rating. We tell you if we think you should buy it, play it, or hate it. Green means go buy this game and add it to your collection. White means maybe you wouldn't buy it, but you definitely play it. And then red means you wouldn't buy it and you wouldn't play it because you hate it. And we're going to tell you what we think in our new interactive video.
So you will also be telling everyone else what you guys think.
What do you think about this video? The first thing that I want to say is from our friend Derek, who said, "Why are you not reviewing Clank in space?"
Get him out of here.
Get the heck out of here, Derek. This video is not about Clank in space. We know that there's a new version of this game. We know that there's expansions to this game, but we're starting with the base game, Clank. And we want to tell you what we think about this game. Okay, so let's give our rating right at the beginning. A green, a white, or a red on what we think that you should do with Clank.
And?
It's a green and a white.
All right.
So I think you should go buy this game. Rod thinks you should just play it.
Just play it. Let someone else buy it.
Know a guy who owns it.
Exactly. And with so many people buying it,
yeah,
it's going to be out there for you to play.
Oh, yeah.
So for you guys that think it's a white game, it's perfect.
Well, Jim agrees with you. Jim says play it. It was fun enough, but I don't really personally see a lot of replayability in it.
Jim and I have a lot in common on that. That's one of the things I truly believe in the game. Exactly.
Yeah, but I think that you should buy it. And who said that they should buy it?
Jillian right here.
Yeah, Jillian said buy it. It's the easiest of our games to get to the table. We've introduced non-gamers to it with no trouble, and our 6- and 9-year-olds find it easy to play.
Right. So that's what that's telling me is it's an entry-level type game, which is fine, right? It's a gateway game.
Right.
Get people into who haven't done it before. And we also have that from Gus Clark.
Mm-hmm.
Played it at the con. Technically my first deck builder. Really liked it.
Yeah.
And then Grant actually responded to him saying, "You need to play more deck builders. I'm an addict."
So maybe an entry-level deck builder.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe something to get in. And I think that's really what you need to know about this game going into it, is that it is a deck builder. That's half of the game, right? So you're going to get a deck of cards at the beginning of the game, and then you get to play them or spend them on your turn. And so you're just going to be... there's two different kinds of things that you can spend your cards to do. One is to buy cards. So I would just play these cards, and then I would look for something that costs 3. Okay, I'm going to get the ladder. I add that to my discard pile. The other thing that you get to do in the game is you get to do movement. So I could spend this sidestep here to be able to move my guy down into the dungeon. So not only is it a deck builder, but it introduces a board into the game where you're going to be doing things. And that's a huge aspect.
And with this game, it's actually... Two boards.
Yeah, two-sided, which does add some replayability there. One of the things that I really liked about this game is you get to do the deck builder, but then you also get to dive further into it. And
let's not forget about that right there. So Edward says, it talks about love the game, good introduction, deck and bag building. So why don't you go ahead and explain it in the bag portion.
Yep, so the last thing that you're going to do, another type of card that you could get is called Stumble. And this is where it introduces Clank into the game. It's the whole premise behind the name of the game is that you've made noise. Because in the game, there's this awesome dragon that is going to be coming after you. And if you make too much noise, he's going to come and get you. So every time that you draw a card that says Clank, you're going to add it onto the board, and it starts to pile up. And then when you draw a dragon card, when a dragon card is revealed into the deck, you're going to pull a certain number of cubes out of the bag. If your cube gets drawn, that is now damage. And so you add that to your damage track. If you get 10 damage, you are now dead and out of the game. Right. The only difference to that is if you die down in the dungeon, you're out of the game. If you die above ground, then the villagers, I guess, come and get you and save you. And it's
rescued.
You get rescued. But that's the funnest part. The most fun part of this game is that as the Clank comes out of your hand, you're going to be put into this bag. And then now it's a press your luck. It's are they going to draw my cubes out of the bag?
Which is really a neat aspect of the game because you can think about, like, there's always that one guy who's super quiet. and he's only getting one or two of those little things in the bag, right? And then there's the other guy who's loud, and you end up pulling the guy who only has one or two
super
in there,
quiet,
which is so neat. That's the neat part of the game, is that even though you may have overdone it, they may still not pick your little what do we call these cubes? Little cubes.
Little cube.
They might not pick your cube. So that is a neat aspect of the game. And plus, it's just are you going to dive deeper and deeper into it? And then you have to rush out because the dragon's coming.
So what are you doing in the dungeon is the important thing, is you're trying to pick up these artifacts. And so as you go into a room, you could find an artifact that you can pick up. Now the catch is you can only pick up one of these unless you have a bag, which you have to purchase at this other location. But you pick up one artifact and then you start to make your way out. Right. And this game has such a cool flip. It's almost like somebody flipped the switch, called out and said, now it's time to get out. Because as soon as you see somebody turn, they've got an artifact in their bag, and then you start to see them go out. Now you know that now it is a run for the hills.
It's a race.
We got to get out. It is a race.
Yep.
And which is one of the coolest aspects of this game, which is something that Jay said, which I love.
Yeah, it's perfect. Go ahead.
Yeah, he says, it is a great game. When you're almost out of the depths of the dungeon and you're super low on health and a dragon card gets flipped up, you don't get suspense like that in a game very often. And it's true. There's something about when you're down in the bottom of this dungeon that the end game is triggered once somebody makes it out and they make it to high ground. They get out of the dungeon. And as soon as somebody does that, now you only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rounds left to get out of this. So if your dude is all the way down here at the bottom,
no chance.
You are in trouble. So it is a press your luck game. You're trying to get further and further in to get something that's great. But if you go too far in, then you're going to be stuck.
And the game does a good job of like with the interaction, because you have to fight the monsters and you have to, the different things that you have to do. But of course, it keeps you on that movement. Go, 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 get out of there.
Now, the weak aspect of this game, a lot of people have said, is the deck building aspect to it, which is our Kevin here said he hates it. He said there are next to zero, and I'll make sure that I emphasize that, next to zero ways to thin out your deck, which is true. If you get too much Clank, if you get cards in your deck that cause too much noise, he says that there's not a lot of ways to get that out of the game. Right. And that is the critique that I've heard from a lot of people that are pure deck building addicts. Right. Is they say it doesn't do as great of a job as maybe a Dominion as far as the deck building. Sure. But I think that it is different enough of a game to draw people that maybe like deck builders or want a deck builder plus something extra.
Right. And the thing is that they didn't hold back with the art. The art is really well done with the game itself. I mean, the cards, card stock, board, all that type of stuff is good. Normally, I'm not a cube guy, but for this game, it's perfect for how it's used. Mm-hmm. So I mean, it plays perfectly. So I do enjoy that aspect of it. But all in all, it is a light game, and that's really where I pull away from it being a green.
Yeah. But for me, I think I'm everything that those guys said. Like Daryl here said that this is it's our most played game in our collection. And I think to me, that is the reason why this is a green. Like I've got a lot of games that are probably better than this, but I've got to have the right people at the right time together. And how many times a year am I going to get to play that game? But this is a game that you could get out, play with just about anybody. And to me, that's a reason. This is a game that I would love to have on the shelf. That's why I gave it a green.
Right. For the white overall, for myself, it was primarily because it is such a light game. Mm-hmm. I mean, there are a lot of great things about the game, which we've already discussed with the artwork and so on. I mean, even the bag. I mean, the bag is really cool. I mean, I know it's just a simple dice bag, but it is neat. But all in all, it's just a white for me. So now that we're interactive, we need to get your vote on this.
Yeah, so the user submitted kind of rating overall feeling that we got from every comment.
Not scientific.
This is not this is not a scientific poll, Keith, but this is what overwhelmingly the response was a green.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. I just can't tell you how many responses were positive, and I mean majorly positive on this game.
Yeah. So you guys said it was a green, and so you guys say go out and buy this game.
So we just want to thank you guys for interacting with us and getting all, responding and just getting in there and talking about the game, because that's the only way we're going to be able to make these type of videos. Our next interactive review, we are reviewing
Assault of the Giants.
Yeah,
This behemoth of a game.
exactly.
We want to know from you guys what you think about it, and so if you played it, we want to hear from you.
Exactly. If you just looked at it, you can still put your 2 cents in.
Yeah. All right. Thanks so much for watching the Board Game Closet. We got a lot more reviews on our website, boardgamecloset.com. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We have an audio podcast. If you're into that, check it out. And as always,
Support your local hobby shops.
tell us what you think.
Yes, every time.